I mean, Ryan Garcia is a full-blown conspiracy theorist now. Talking about Bohemian Grove, talking about, Illuminati, all these sort of things. The thing that is a red flag for me, it's a complete personality shift. It's not like we were slowly integrated to this side of Ryan Garcia.
I wish he would just focus on the fight because I want to see the best Ryan Garcia take on the best Devin Haney. And, I mean, what I'm seeing right now, I don't think we're going to get that.
I don't think we're going to get that at all.
Anthony Joshua took on Francis Ngannou.
I mean, Anthony Joshua shut up all the MMA fans. Complete destruction. 2 rounds. Didn't take long at all. Anthony Joshua just brought it back to the fundamentals with feints, jabs to the body, to the head, and completely destroyed Ngannou. Gave him a concussion, I believe, and made him second guess whether or not he really wants to take this boxing thing serious because he's got a long way to go.
Fight that I never expected to ever see. Jake Paul takes on Mike Tyson. Who sanctioned this fight? A retired grandpa going back in the ring for a professional fight. Like, who sanctioned this? Like, welcome back to another episode of the Last Round Podcast, where we cover everything from traditional boxing to influencer boxing and everything in between. We will be talking about the big anticipated clash between Anthony Joshua as he took on Francis Ngannou in the boxing ring, as well as the whole controversy between DeanTheGreat and MisFits, as well as going on about the Jake Paul taking on Mike Tyson in July. Or in June, I believe. Who cares? We'll go over it in a bit. Now, before we start, though, I want to thank you guys for 1,000 subscribers, man.
Let's go, 1,000.
We hit the big milestone.
The big milestone, yeah.
Yeah, for any small YouTube channel, 1,000's always the number that they first dream of getting the first step.
The first milestone.
Easily, yeah. The first milestone that we've achieved at this channel. We've been doing this for a little under a year now. So to be able to get that following is a very big achievement for us, and it's one that we thank you guys for following, for liking, for even agreeing or disagreeing with our takes as we see. But thank you guys so much for 1,000. We'll continue to build and hopefully continue to put out more content, different content, and just continue onwards and keep talking about boxing. But thank you guys for that. But back to the main thing at task, Anthony Joshua took on Francis Ngannou in Saudi Arabia. Francis Ngannou was coming off the greatest debut of all time as he narrowly lost a split decision against Tyson Fury back in October. And many people were betting on him to beat Anthony Joshua. But, this past weekend, this Friday, it didn't show that. What are you guys' thoughts about that? Anthony Joshua taking on Francis Ngannou.
Yeah, I mean, Anthony Joshua shut up all the MMA fans. That's what that was this past Friday. I mean, it was complete destruction. 2 rounds. Didn't take long at all. Even from the first round, Ngannou got dropped by a straight right hand. I think Joshua showed how well boxers truly are. This was the fight that should have happened against Tyson Fury. Complete domination. It didn't happen. And now everyone was on their high horse, especially those MMA fans. They were thinking that their striking was better. But a true, actual boxer, Anthony Joshua, just brought it back to the fundamentals with feints, jabs to the body, to the head, and completely destroyed Ngannou. Gave him a concussion, I believe, and made him second guess whether or not he really wants to take this boxing thing serious because he's got a long way to go.
Yeah, what are your thoughts, Rudo?
Yeah, what's funny is that I always growing up, I always liked hearing the fact that MMA fans would be like, oh yeah, MMA guys, MMA fighters will kick the shit out of a boxer, pro boxer. It don't really matter. They wear bigger gloves and whatnot. But what's funny, and then I find it more hilarious is that Anthony Joshua knocked out Francis Ngannou very easily, just super fundamental, super very simple. He didn't throw any other punch other than the jab and the right hand, and he stopped them. That's crazy. Yeah, this goes to show that MMA fighters don't belong in the boxing ring at all. Yeah,
I think it sent a message to the MMA fans because there's always a lot of talk of them coming over to boxing because they love that check that boxers get. So. Notably, obviously, Sean O'Malley has been going back and forth with Ryan Garcia. There's been other ones in the past that they've been, talking about, I can still strike. You know, I'm one of the best strikers in the UFC. I can go to boxing. Yeah, you can strike in the UFC, but AJ just said, hey, the striking's different. You know, we know our range, we know our distance, we know our feints. Completely different game, and I think he sent a message saying, if you really want to cross over to regular boxing, get ready to get an ass whooping, you know?
Yeah, the thing is, after the Tyson Fury fight, I'm 100% sure that Ngannou and his team dreamed of becoming a boxing heavyweight world champion. It was possible.
Because it seemed plausible, right?
Yeah, it seemed like completely acceptable, or it could be a reality because he pulled off that performance against Fury. Then again, it was not the best Fury we've ever seen, but I mean, for Ngannou, who's basically a novice in there doing what he did to Fury, you know, I'm sure they dreamed of, you know, making that, hey, we can become a world champion in boxing
in like 4 fights, 3 fights.
Yeah, and so I'm sure that's why they took the Joshua fight, because they were like, yo, if I'm able to do this against Tyson Fury, arguably the best heavyweight on the planet, then I can do it against any of the other elites. And I think that's what kind of blinded them, you know. They thought they could just skip to the main bosses and still have success. Yes, it happened. It worked the first time. There's probably many variables that went into your favor for that first fight. But yeah, they were just blinded by that, you know, by that performance against Tyson Fury. That they just didn't believe that there was levels, and Anthony Joshua in this fight showed them that there are big levels, you know, between the level that Ngannou's at to the level that Anthony Joshua's at, because he just defeated him with just simple, basic boxing, you know?
Basic fundamentals, just like Rudo was talking about. I mean, it was just feints. I think the main thing that we saw is how boxers understand range and how boxers understand feints. Ngannou could not touch Joshua, and Joshua isn't a slick mover. Joshua isn't a boxer type of fighter. He's just understands range as boxers do. You know, you're not going to get that far without understanding range. He was making him bite on those feints, and I mean, it paid off. His timing was just so much better than Ngannou. I think it showed that Ngannou still has a lot to learn in the boxing world. Yes, you have freakish power. Yes, you were a UFC champion, but different sport. You know what I'm saying? It's going to take a very large mountain to climb. So Joshua was telling him after the fight, don't leave boxing. You're still an inspiration. You can still make it. What do you guys think about that? You think he can actually still make it in the boxing ring? Should Francis stick to boxing?
I think you got to look at it through, you know, a different perspective. Yeah, he did. He's 2 fights in. Took on 2 of the best fighters. You know, he lost both of them, but I mean, it's only his second fight, you know, which is crazy to even think about. But then again, he's 37 years old?
Yeah, he's on the old side.
He's on the old side, which for heavyweight is a bit different when it comes to the age. So I won't take too much off of that. But that knockout, that KO, that type of knockout is a career-changing type of knockout. You know, not many fighters are able to get slept like that and then come back and dominate. You know, who knows if his chin is going to be able to take punches anymore? Who knows if he's going to be able to pull the trigger, because he's going to be hesitant of getting, you know, of being scared or afraid or worried of getting hit back, you know. That type of knockout really changes a lot of fighters psychologically. So I'm interested to see what game plan or what plan they decide to, you know, do with Ngannou, him and his team. You know, are they going to keep fighting, or are they just going to go back to the PFL? You know, maybe fight a couple more times and just retire, because he can retire right now.
Yeah, because he was flatlined.
Bad.
Like this is a very hard knockout. I would not be surprised if he has a concussion. You know, it's going to take some time for him. I think he first needs to rest a little bit, get his body actually recovered, because yeah, that knockout, people were... my favorite thing is the boxing community was saying that Joshua put the whole sport of boxing behind that punch. And it looked that way, because, I mean, it was devastating.
It's possible that not only does he have a concussion, but also a knee injury, because, like, the way that knee kind of bent, and he's a big dude, you know what I'm saying? So I don't think it really requires too much weight to actually get an injury like that. So it's possible that he may have sustained a knee injury.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. And it's possible he sustained some brain neurons fucking losing them. But
he was knocked out since the second knockdown.
Yeah, that's second knockdown.
Yeah. Honestly,
he was
yes.
on his feet.
The fight should have been stopped after the second knockdown, because you could see it in Francis's face. You could see it in the fighter's eyes. Francis was completely out of it. He was like moving really slow to try to get more time to recover. And Joshua, this goes back to something very amateur. Joshua literally just showed him the jab and just threw a right hand. Like that's amateur textbook level, strategy. You could see that at an amateur show in the gym. You're just showing the right hand, showing the jab to the bottom, and then just coming up with the right hand.
It was a beautiful shot, though. Right on the chin. It was, man, the fact that he folded him like that, because, after the fight, whole knockout clip goes viral. Everyone's talking about it, and people, how some people are after fights, they start saying, "Oh, it's rigged," right? And one of the excuses that they pulled off for why it was rigged was because how can Francis Ngannou, who used to fight in the UFC in 4-ounce gloves, who had never been knocked down, never been dropped, never been KO'd, to say the least, how can he come over to boxing with bigger gloves, get sparked out like that? Like they're saying it's got to be rigged because there's no way. Ngannou fought in the MMA and UFC. How come he never got knocked out with smaller gloves, whereas in boxing he gets sparked out like that?
Because he never got hit by an actual heavyweight, bro. AJ is a huge heavyweight, bro. He looks like Black Hercules. Like, how you not gonna feel the power of that man?
He's a power puncher, man. That's what Joshua is. He's a power puncher. He has dynamite in those hands. So and he's a boxer. So you're stepping into his domain, his bread and butter. So if he hits you, it's gonna hurt, man. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, I'm an optimist. I think people that actually say that aren't actual fans of combat sports.
They gotta be casuals.
They have to be casuals, because for you to say something so dumb like that, like really think about that. Because your favorite fighter got knocked out, you think the whole sport is rigged.
Yes.
I mean, you can't cope any harder than that. I mean, like, these are the most casual fans. I think actual boxing fans and even MMA fans can actually like understand and see that Anthony Joshua is just levels above.
Yeah, easily. From the first bell. You could tell. I mean, the thing is, Ngannou did look a lot better fundamentally from the Fury fight to now.
Yeah, talk about his improvement.
Yeah,
he had from his Fury fight to this fight.
Yeah, I saw, like in the first fight against Fury, you could tell he was a bit more robotic, a bit more just his base just wasn't really, as fine-tuned as it was for this fight. He looked a lot better. I was like, oh wow, he's a little bit more springy. He's got, a pretty good solid base compared to how he looked against Fury. So I was like, this Ngannou, I can tell why they were confident, because they had more time to prepare, and that time allowed him to try to fine-tune his skills in boxing, which there's reports coming out of Ngannou's camp saying that they were very confident coming into this fight because Ngannou looked great in camp. He had improved greatly since the first fight, and that he had somehow increased his power. Supposedly, these were reports. Supposedly reports that they're very confident because he had just completely had a great camp. So they're confident that he could go into the ring and stop Anthony Joshua.
Yeah, that's what made the Anthony Joshua knockout so much more impressive, is because I do believe Ngannou improved. This was an improved Ngannou. He looked much quicker, much faster than he did against Fury, much more comfortable in there. And for AJ to do that, I think it just receives even more credit, because that Ngannou is a better Ngannou that fought Fury.
Yeah.
And
when I was watching the fight again for the second time, the one thing I was thinking was that I wonder who he was sparring, Francis, because he looked definitely a lot more relaxed. He looked like he was more fluid on his toes and whatnot for a guy of his size. It's kind of impressive. In his fight against Tyson Fury, that was a few months ago, so it was a tremendous improvement.
Yeah, and the thing is, this fight makes Tyson Fury look bad at the end of the day. I believe Tyson Fury's stock did go down based on the aftermath of this fight, because I said it months ago too, after the fight against Fury and Ngannou. I said I don't think Fury did not train for this fight. He just took it as a whole event, a whole circus, and he paid the price. He almost lost. And people online were calling me a clown.
Yeah,
they were saying like
crazy.
They were calling me a clown and everything, saying, bro, you're just saying that, you Fury fanboy, this and that, and I was like, whatever. Now fast forward to this past Friday, Anthony Joshua took him serious, had a good camp, came in and took him out very, very easy. And now people are claiming, based on Anthony Joshua's performance, it just shows that Fury did not train for that first fight. And now I'm just like, bro,
that's what you're saying.
That's what I was saying months ago, but I was called a clown for it.
Yeah, see, we predict the future in this channel, I think. We're just, we're actual knowledgeable about this stuff.
For the most part.
For the most part.
We got this one right at least.
We got this one, yeah. But people were very critical of Tyson Fury because, I mean, how can you... Anthony Joshua made it look so easy, and Fury struggled. He went like life and death.
He struggled bad, yeah.
Yes.
Very close fight, controversial fight.
So, so that's one of the main things people were saying about Fury, that his stock, they went down based on this fight. And I mean, Fury was there at the event watching the fights, and I remember after the fight, they panned over to Fury and his face, man. His face told the whole story. He was very serious. I could tell that he was thinking in his head, like, damn, like, this is not going to look good, because he made it look so easy. Anthony Joshua just made it look so easy.
Yeah, he definitely, there's a lot of backlash on Tyson Fury now. People are calling him what's the word? A fraud. People are calling him a fraud because, I mean, I don't know. They're saying just now, they're coming to question his actual resume. He's fought Wilder ever since he came back from his depression era. He's fought Wilder. Wilder isn't really the best. All he's known for is power. And then now they're saying AJ. There's a lot of talk of now AJ can beat Tyson Fury, can become a 3-division world champion or a 3-time world champion.
Yeah, that's well. The thing is first off, I believe we do have a new AJ in our hand, like a new version of him. Since that Otto Wallen fight, we've all three came to agreement that he looked very impressive, and that maybe we're seeing a different. We might see a new version of AJ because
Anthony Joshua 2.0.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you mentioned you coined him that name. Yeah. So we've been saying that since December, since the last fight against Otto Wallen, that he's been looking good. He looks sharp. He looks ready. He looks back into the old AJ. The one that fought Klitschko, the dog mentality, the not scared.
2016, 2017
AJ. That AJ, that mentality AJ is a very dangerous opponent. Whereas Tyson Fury, I mean, he did have the trilogy with Deontay Wilder, but then, he hadn't really fought anyone big. He fought Dillian White. He got a trilogy with David Chisora. And now he went life and death with Francis Ngannou. So people, they've always been critical about Fury's resume, but especially now more, based on this last performance between AJ and Ngannou.
But the thing is, the heavyweights is extremely stacked. I mean, in the co-main event, co-feature of this fight, we had Joseph Parker, who has been revitalizing his career. I mean, he got a very solid win against Zhilei Zhang, a Chinaman who was also sparked his career again. I honestly, going into this fight, I thought Big Bang Zhang was gonna win. Yeah. But Joseph Parker has been on a run recently, man. He's been on a run ever since he lost against
Joe
Joyce. Yeah. Ever since he lost against Joe Joyce, he's been on a win streak. He's revitalized his career. Now he wants to gun at the championship as well, just the same as AJ. How does he fit in there?
First off, Joseph Parker he's a throwback fighter, man. Yeah. He's a very big...
He's been there for a while.
And his resume, man. He fought Andy Ruiz. He's fought Anthony Joshua. He's fought Deontay Wilder. He's fought now the Big Bang. He has a lot of big names in his resume, and he's come away with most of them. He's come on top, especially now. Ever since he got destroyed, obliterated by Joe Joyce, the juggernaut. Like you said, he's re-sparked his career. People are now interested again because he's just been absolutely dominating. He switched trainers. He got a new skill, new style, and he's been utilizing it to the full capacity, which has allowed him a lot of success in the ring.
Yeah, he looks a lot better than his earlier fights. I think this is a different Joshua Parker that we are accustomed to seeing. Joseph Parker that we're accustomed to seeing. So I'm interested to see how far they can go because it looks like they could probably be in the possibility of 1 fight, 2 fights fighting for a championship again.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, he just beat Zhilei Zhang in a tough fight. This was a tough fight. He got dropped twice. He showed the dog in him. Parker, dang. After all these years, I'm saying, up and downs in his career, he still has that dog mentality. Getting dropped twice by Zhilei Zhang, who is an absolute powerhouse of a man, and coming back and getting the victory, the decision victory. I mean, it was really impressive to see. I think Joseph Parker should not be overlooked in the heavyweight division because he can still make a splash in there, you know.
Yeah, he's easily top 5.
Yeah,
easily top 5 behind Francis Ngannou, of course.
he's still up there.
Still up there.
Hey, so was only ranked in one organization, right? The WBC.
Yeah, they ranked in the top 10 for the heavyweights.
Suleiman put him.
Yeah.
So that boy is gonna go down.
Don't go all the way down. I think it was an embarrassment.
Yeah.
Embarrassing choice from the WBC to
You
even
know how
consider
Suleiman
him.
is.
Yeah, Suleiman's a terrible.
Yeah, so
very
the,
terrible.
The president of the WBC is named Mauricio Suleiman, and he's a businessman. You know, he's got business plans. So whenever he always receives a lot of shit, and he for some reason wanted to rank Francis Ngannou top 10 after his debut, which we see what happened if you do that.
He gets sparked. Well, Ngannou, I think he got the last laugh. He got, 20 mil, maybe,
20 mil, that's what they're
reportedly.
saying.
Hey, he's still an inspiration.
And inspiration was a good amount of cash in the bank.
Yeah, so you can't hate on him. I don't hate on him.
I don't hate on him
Yeah.
either. No, I just hate on the MMA fans who were claiming.
Yeah.
People were saying this one was for boxing.
Yeah, it's good to shut them up, man.
This one was for boxing. And I remember, because I was watching this with one of my coworkers, watching it, and he's a big UFC MMA fan. And the whole time leading up to this fight, he was saying, "Oh, Ngannou's gonna break Joshua's glass jaw. You know, he's gonna expose him. He's gonna knock him out." I was like, "Bro, you're being dumb, bro."
Being casual.
The fight happens, right? Goes as it goes. Joshua knocks out Ngannou, and then he tells me, "Bro, that he was all like, dude, that's so stupid. Now let Joshua get inside the octagon."
It's like, bro, these boxers aren't asking to go into the octagon. It's like it's the MMA fans. They're like, oh, I can cross over to boxing. You never hear a boxer, except obviously exceptions like Ryan Garcia. Besides him,
The quote?
yeah,
Clarissa Shields.
Clarissa Shields. You know, there is some boxers.
James Toney.
James Toney has gone in there. You know, there is
Ricardo
rare exceptions.
Mayorga also.
Yeah,
went in.
but in general, these boxers aren't asking to go to the UFC. So that's why the MMA fans are the ones that are always starting this argument, you know. So it's their fault.
You know, I told my coworker too, and he just couldn't believe it. I showed him the video, the clip, and he goes, "Wow, this doesn't even seem real."
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like, those fighters that you never expect to get knocked out. It's like a weird feeling. For me, it was when Pacquiao got knocked out.
Yeah,
that was a weird one, man. I never expected Pacquiao to get sparked out like that.
Flatlined.
And I don't know how to. I was heartbroken. My heart shattered.
You're like stunned, like, how could this be? Like,
yeah, it was like it was something like that. So yeah, seeing like fighters that you don't expect to get knocked out, especially as how vicious this knockout was, this monster KO was. It's very weird for a lot of fans, especially like MMA fans, because they never seen Ngannou get absolutely sparked out like that. So yeah, it's a very weird feeling, seeing your favorite fighter get sparked.
Yeah.
But so Francis Ngannou, what's next for him? Does he stick with boxing? Does he go back to the PFL, or does he just retire?
I don't know if he will go back to the PFL. Like, he's made so much more money. Like, if he goes back to the PFL, he's gonna take a huge paycheck deduction.
Well, I mean, isn't he bound by contract?
Yeah, I think he already has a PFL contract.
Yeah, so he's got to at least fight something.
I think so. I think they announced that his next fight was gonna be UFC or like MMA. Sorry.
It might have to wait.
Yeah, it might have to wait, honestly. But I mean, honestly, he's just in that position of where he just wants like big fights, big money fights.
Yeah.
So I think he's just gonna continue to do that. Honestly, I think he's gonna try to get another big name, try to get some more money, and fight again in Saudi Arabia.
Hey, Deontay Wilder.
Oh, that still has hype around it. Honestly,
Okay, yeah.
that still has hype around it.
Deontay Wilder versus Francis Ngannou.
Because you're gonna get a highlight reel KO from that fight.
Again, yeah.
So I mean, honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing that fight.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Deontay Wilder now, he's not the same bronze bomber that he once was. So, I mean, it may be a perfect opportunity for Ngannou to bounce back, beat a former top elite. And it can be an opportunity for Wilder to bounce back and defeat a very big name in the combat. In the combat sports with Francis Ngannou.
Yeah, it's a make or break fight for both fighters. I think the fight makes sense, honestly.
Yeah, I wouldn't pay, but I'd watch it. I'd watch it.
That's funny.
But so that was the whole.
I guess. What do you guys thought about what's that MMA fighter's name? Mighty Mouse. His comments about saying something along the lines of, if AJ and Francis were to go at it in the octagon, AJ would still come out victorious.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so.
Well, I mean,
I don't think so.
The reasons he said this is because Francis Ngannou's game is the same as his game in boxing. He's just gonna try to land a power shot.
Yeah.
You know, he's not a wrestler. He's not a grappler. He's not a jiu-jitsu guy. He just tries to stand up in MMA and fight him. So, Mighty Mouse's whole point was that the fight's gonna look the same, whether it's in a boxing ring or in an octagon. They're gonna be standing up, throwing punches. And he said Anthony Joshua has the better hands, therefore he's gonna win. Honestly, I could see it like that, but I think Francis actually does. I mean, he has some wrestling skills.
Yeah.
He showed against Cyril Gane. I don't know if you guys know who that is.
Yeah.
He showed a good knowledge of, you know, the ground game, how to get someone down. But I don't know. I think Ngannou's ego would try to just be like, no, I need to beat this guy standing up, beat him, KO him, because he KO'd me.
Yeah.
So I have to get it back. I think Ngannou wouldn't actually do the smart thing and try to wrestle. He would still try to bang with Anthony Joshua, and Anthony Joshua, of course, has the better hands as a boxer and would still knock him out.
Yeah, because those comments by Mighty Mouse really sparked a lot of controversy.
They do.
Yeah, because they were like, really, man, they're in the octagon now. We're in Ngannou's domain. You know, this is his home place. Like, do you really think Joshua's going to cross over and beat him the same way he beat him in the ring? No, you know, because that's what they were saying. I mean, can Ngannou throw some kicks in there too? You know,
He can throw some kicks, but he's not really well known. It's just he's just known for like, if you watch his fights,
that right hand.
He's just a boxer, like trying to land a big overhand. So
yeah, I saw that comment too, and people were not very happy with what they were like. Is something wrong, Mighty Mouse?
Yeah.
Are you okay, man? I'm like, bro, just giving it's a very
His
hot
honest
take.
takes,
It's a very hot take, you know, and one that, especially coming from him, because he's
regarded as one of the greatest of all time in MMA. So his voice and his opinions do hold some merit, and I think people they're so quick, especially the MMA fans. I feel they're a bit different than boxing fans. They're so quick to just like hate or just not even understand or try to understand what the guy is saying. Mighty Mouse, I think he brought up a decent point. You could see it from his perspective. You could see how he came to that conclusion. But immediately they're just like, "Oh no, Mighty Mouse, what? Why aren't you supporting the MMA guy?" It's like, come on, we got to think critically about this.
Yeah, I saw one that said, "Bro, this is honestly your worst take ever."
Yeah. It's like, bro, I think this guy knows a little something what he's talking about. Like, try to understand what he's saying. But I don't know.
well, it's up for interpretation, right, guys? But yeah, so that was the whole Francis Ngannou taking on Anthony Joshua, which ended in a very crazy KO. So congrats, Anthony Joshua. If you're watching this, I've been supporting you since day one.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
You did the boxing community part.
You brought credibility back to,
You know what I'm
to
saying?
us, bro. Everyone's all like, thank you, Joshua.
Joshua, yeah.
But yeah, so that was the whole event in Saudi Arabia. Hopefully we get another one of those. Actually, they should make you know how the time span from fight to fight is super long. It was super long this past event. It was like 30-40 minutes of just waiting. Yeah, I mean, they got to take a page from UFC and make them shorter, man, because it was dreadful waiting for some of the fights. But that's my only critique from that event. But yeah, so moving on, let's move on a little bit more towards the influencer section or side of things. We had a big news get announced this week. Jake Paul is coming off a very dominating victory over Ryan Borland like 2 weeks ago, week and a half ago. But he's already announced his next fight, and it's a fight that I never expected to ever see. Jake Paul takes on Mike Tyson July 20th, I believe, at the AT&T Arena or Stadium in Arlington, Texas, live on Netflix. What do you guys thought about that? Jake Paul taking on Mike.
Listen, the critique I have from the Jake Paul fight is I don't know what he wants to do now. I thought he wanted to be a boxer, a professional boxer. If you want to be a professional boxer, you should not be fighting a 57-year-old Mike Tyson who's been retired for years. That's not going to progress you on that route. So I'm just kind of disappointed that he's not fighting like boxers, because I thought that's what he wanted to do. That's what he said he wanted to do. He wants to be a world champion.
fighting Mike Tyson isn't going to get you closer to that world title. So I feel it makes no sense.
Well, it will give him the name.
That's not gonna
the resume.
That's not gonna increase his ranking.
I knocked out Mike Tyson.
You know, if he wanted to increase his ranking, you know, he could fight Vidal Riley because Vidal Riley is one ranking above Jake Paul.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, he is. They're literally right there and there. So if he wants to increase his ranking, if he wants to progress his career, if he wants to be actually regarded as a prospect in boxing and be respected as a fighter, then he should go fight Vidal Riley. Why are you fighting a 57-year-old Mike Tyson? I feel that's a little disingenuous.
Bruh, it's good for business, bruh.
I'm saying
really good for business.
Listen, I'm not saying it's good for. It's gonna. You know how much money it's gonna generate? It's gonna be on Netflix for the first time ever. There's gonna be a boxing event and a combat event on Netflix live. So everybody has Netflix on their. You know what I'm saying? Everyone has Netflix
on their phone, on their TV.
So it's gonna reach so many households. Mike Tyson's a massive name. Jake Paul's a massive name. I'm sure this fight is going to generate millions and millions of dollars, but I think it doesn't make any sense. I think now, so then Jake just wants to make money then. That's what this fight tells me. He doesn't even want to become a world champion because this isn't the path to become a world champion.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what Jake is thinking about, but for sure, I mean, right now he's going to get a bag. Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think right now, I'm not sure if that's what he's going to do, but like, he went from actually fighting a guy who, you know, a decent guy, a journeyman that was kind of like.
Nah, I wouldn't call him decent.
I just say he's just trying to go
build up his
resume, climb the rankings and whatnot. So I'm not sure. Yeah, I really don't know what he's trying to do.
Yeah, I think this is a step backwards for his career. Yeah, like you mentioned earlier, Jake Paul. What are you trying to do? Like, I mean, I've been supporting.
Yeah, I support him.
I support, you know, what he started trying to do with Andre August and Ryan Borland. I saw what him and his team were building on. But yeah, this one was just a curveball. It came out of nowhere. I look at it and I'm like, okay, like, yes, you want obviously the big name, Mike Tyson. Of course, he's one of, if not the most a well-known boxer of all time, despite, you know, his accolades. But yeah, people or Jake Paul and his team, it's like, do you really want to be a world champion, or do you just want to grab, you know, do a quick money grab? Because this is what that fight is. It's a money grab. Because even if you don't like Jake Paul, you're still going to tune in to watch Jake Paul taking on Mike Tyson. Man, you're still going to watch it free, no pay-per-view on Netflix. They're going to get a lot of eyeballs on this fight. So, I mean, it's a win for him in the aspect that he's going to get a lot of money. But it is a negative on his career because let's say he beats Mike Tyson. You beat a 57-year-old man. Like, what are you proud of that? Like, yes, he's Mike Tyson, but he's not the Mike Tyson who was destroying everyone in his prime in the 80s, you know. He's not the Mike Tyson. The Mike Tyson retired back in 2005. He's been retired for so many years. He came back against Roy Jones. He looked very old in there. And so you're expecting me to believe that this fight, you know, you beating Mike Tyson is a credible win, because it's not. And like you said, fighting someone who's active, an active cruiserweight like Vidal Riley, they would not take that fight because he's young, he's extremely well, he's a very skillful fighter and very dangerous. So that's, you know, that doesn't mark any of Jake Paul's opponent criteria at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, that's another reason why I don't like this fight, is because Mike Tyson's old now. Like, come on, 57 is a bit insane.
That is wild.
And I mean, he's very open about his lifestyle. This guy smokes, this guy does mushrooms, this guy, you know what I'm saying? So it's not like he's like training every day. It's not like he's still in shape. Of course, I wouldn't be surprised. He's definitely going to get in shape, Mike Tyson. I believe it. I mean, he got in good shape against Roy Jones. He looked, you know, better shape. But I mean, this 57 years old, this fight, it just makes no sense to me, because it doesn't really add anything to Jake Paul. He loses, okay, you lost to Mike Tyson. He wins, and he's not one step closer to becoming a world champion. He's just the only thing that he gains from this fight is money, and eyes.
Well, one thing that I was just thinking right now is that maybe he still is trying to go on that path of becoming a world champion. I just think the last two fights were against guys who, on paper, they had decent records, but, you know, they were just guys he was trying to, you know, help himself climb up the ranks and whatnot. I think he realized that those two last fights, I mean, those checks weren't that good. and I mean it's expensive to have a whole ass training camp. So I'm guessing maybe he's gonna try to fight these guys, and then every once in a while he's gonna throw in a big money fight, and then just continue to do that.
Yeah,
It's possible to keep his hype very high, to keep his name still relevant.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you definitely saw his name did, especially fighting these guys. They're not as big as fighting Tommy Fury.
The arena's
obviously.
shorter, it's smaller.
Of course.
Nate Diaz.
You know what I'm saying? There's definitely a tangible difference. But so I guess he could do that. We'll see if he does do that. It's because I don't know. I just still don't like it.
Random.
I just don't like it, man.
Bro,
Mike Tyson,
who sanctioned this
Yeah.
fight, dude? We're talking about a grandpa,
Retired.
bro, a retired grandpa going back in the ring for a professional fight. Like, who sanctioned this? Like, you should be ashamed, honestly.
I've actually seen some videos of him with the walker.
Oh,
in the casino or just like out and about. He has like a grand staff, like
no,
like
it's
Gandalf.
it's a pimp stick.
The pimp stick.
Yeah, I saw those clips too, because they were criticizing the fight. They were like, bro, you're literally fighting an old man, and they showed him walking on that staff or that pimp stick.
It's a pimp stick, okay? Mike Tyson still be pimping, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, Mike Tyson's old now. He's a shell of his former self. Beating him isn't gonna prove anything to Jake. Jake Paul isn't gonna prove anything beating him. So it's very useless in my opinion.
Yeah, so we're still gonna watch.
I'm still gonna tune in.
gonna watch, but I'm not happy.
I'm not happy. Yeah.
But so yeah, that was the whole Jake Paul taking on Mike Tyson. Our take about that. We'll see. We'll see more once it gets closer to the date. More clips are going to probably emerge, more footage from both fighters. So we'll probably formulate more thoughts and opinions about this.
Yeah, because we're not. Should we give our takes?
I'm not going to give a take right now.
Too early, right?
I think it's way too early.
Yeah,
I still need to see more. But so yeah, that was the whole shenanigans going on with Jake Paul.
Absolutely insane.
Yeah, it's wild. But going on more deeper into influencer, we had DeanTheGreat, one of MisFits' most prized fighters, Deen, having a bit of a controversy with his parent company. So he's going to be fighting against Adam Saleh. Used to be one of the most hyped influencer boxers in the scene back in 2019, but his hype has gone down, and he doesn't really train. But he's getting the chance to fight DeanTheGreat on Aiden Ross's kick stream, where he be having those boxing warehouses. He's already had a couple events. There've been some pretty funny ones. There've been a crazy knockout.
There
One
has
of them,
been a crazy knockout.
that one was crazy. But supposedly they're just gonna spar. But then so they're gonna spar, and I guess MisFits didn't like that because they're like, yo, he's our fighter, like, what are you doing? So then they sued Deen, allegedly sued Deen, and then they also sued Aiden Ross. What are you guys' thoughts about that? Is Deen making the right choice in fighting on Aiden Ross's stream, or is MisFits doing the right thing and trying to not let him fight?
I think they're both doing the right thing. DeanTheGreat wants to fight big names. He wants to get his name relevant. You know what I'm saying? He wants to fight. He wants to fight. Which is I think it's a bit weird because he supposedly broke his.
He's supposedly
hand.
injured right now.
Supposedly injured. That's the only red flag I see. But he's trying to stay active. Fighting a guy like Adam Saleh. I mean, that's a pretty big name, even though Adam Saleh can be critiqued. But also, I mean, MisFits doesn't want him to fight because he's going to generate money for them. Because this is a fight. Let's not bullshit and say this is a spar. They're getting paid. You know what I'm saying?
They're claiming they're not getting paid.
They're claiming they're not getting paid.
But there's a 5-figure fine if they don't show up.
Exactly.
So they're getting paid.
They're getting paid. You know what I'm saying? Big fight, a lot of eyes. MisFits, is right in being like, I don't want you to fight on another organization, especially without them in communication with that organization. So I think MisFits is doing what MisFits should be doing is like, hey, this is my fighter. I want him to fight on my organization. Or if not, then I want to cut or something like that, just communication. Because DeanTheGreat kind of just went behind their back.
He did.
Yeah, he kind of went behind their back for this. I can understand it, but hopefully we still see it.
Yeah,
I still want to see it, honestly.
I don't know if he went behind their back. It is a spar.
It's not a spar.
Let's
be honest.
It's just an expensive spar. That's all it is. It's just an expensive spar.
It's
That's
a
all
spar
it is.
where you get paid.
You get paid.
Yeah, that's why he's just. If it was an actual fight, then he wouldn't be able to because he's injured. But because he's injured, he's just gonna spar with one hand.
Nah, he's not gonna spar with one hand.
Yeah.
Dude, Adam Saleh would I mean, Adam Sandler would show up early in the morning if he knew that Deen was going to be fighting with one hand.
Yeah,
he would be very happy to take that fight. But nah, I don't think it's spar because also Aiden Ross in a recent stream showed the belt that the winner is gonna get.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a belt. The winner of the spar is gonna get a belt. And I mean, in sparring, I mean, the whole thing is there's no winners, right? There's no winner in the spar.
Yeah, so they're gonna be judges there too, or
Yo, I kind of want to see the belt.
yeah. Oh, the belt is terrible. It
really?
looks cheap, bro.
Oh, come on,
But you know, he said he claimed it's a spar. But if you look at every single one of Aiden Ross's boxing warehouse fights, they're not spars.
They're winners, right?
There's winners, there's losers, there's people trying to go at each other. No headgear. Probably like 12, 14 ounce gloves. But it's not a spar. They're literally there to fight, and so they're just trying to hide the fact that it's a spar to try to make this fight happen. But the thing in MisFits, they see potential in making this fight a reality, you know, on MisFits. You know, Adam Saleh, like I mentioned before, was one of the most hyped up influencer fighters in the scene back in 2019 when he debuted in a very in a very funny way against a former MMA fighter named Marcus. This fight was so bad. Anyways, I have a lot of things to say about Adam. I won't, but yeah, so MisFits obviously sees Adam as a potential opponent, you know, to bring out MisFits for the lightweight division. And also MisFits is doing a lot for Deen because this whole interim lightweight tournament is catered towards him to find him the winner as he heals up. So I can see why KSI, Mams Taylors are low-key pissed. Not low-key, they're high-key.
Yeah,
they made it very public of what they think about it. So in my opinion, I think Deen is in the wrong. I still hope that
I still hope it happens. Honestly.
Yeah, that's what I hope.
I hope Deen is dumb enough to still continue to go behind their back, fight Adam Saleh and get paid.
Yeah. So that's what. So I guess that's what our opinions about that whole Deen situation. Is it right? I don't know. I just want to see the fight. I still want to see the fight, regardless of that. But so yeah, that was a little bit of the drama that's been stirring up this past week on the influencer side of things of boxing. But we'll see what happens because the spar's supposed to happen next week.
Next week, yeah.
Or this week.
Or this week.
The 16th, yeah. So it's supposed to happen this week.
Before St. Patty's Day.
So yeah, it should be fun. Hopefully it gets done.
So who do you guys got on the sparring then?
I got Deen.
Deen. I mean, is he actually injured? So I mean, what's up with that?
I don't know. We haven't really gotten much. I mean, he did get surgery or whatever, or he got it fixed up. He had his whole healing process. Is he 100%? I don't know.
The world doesn't know. Yeah.
I don't know, but I do think he would beat Adam Saleh. Adam Saleh doesn't give me the vibes of a man who's very disciplined.
And Adam Saleh sucks either way. I mean, if you see it from his fights, let's be honest here, his technique is horrible.
He was like a 29-year-old man who struggled against a 17-year-old wall lead, man. Yeah. Wow, that was insane.
It's insane. And his technique is horrible, the way he throws punches.
Wait, so how old is he? In his 30s?
Now.
Adam, he's like 28, 29 or something. Yeah. He's about to hit 30. He's close to that age. But yeah, Adam has not, for being one of the most hyped up people coming up into the scene, he has not fulfilled anything. He's very overrated.
He's under-delivered a lot.
Underperformed, and overrated. I gotta emphasize it. He's overrated. Overrated. But so that's the whole thing. I think Deen is gonna easily beat him.
I think he should.
Yeah, he should.
I mean, yeah, he's more active as well.
He's more active. He's a better boxer either way too. But let's see how that happens if it actually does happen. But last thing on the list, I wanted to talk briefly about Ryan Garcia because I find it funny because we spoke about what we thought about Ryan Garcia, or if he was actually drunk or high or on drugs, whatever. And you made the point that he's just more brash, he just speaking his mind more. And then we dropped the episode, and then the next day, Ryan Garcia goes on Andrew Tate's Twitter space and just absolutely goes ballistic. He starts spouting a bunch of stuff, and then we had our short drop also, our short on TikTok, on YouTube, and on Instagram, and on TikTok they were just cooking us, man. They were calling us dumb and everything, saying, "Bro, you guys are dumb, this and that." But it was such because of the bad timing, when the episode was released to what Ryan Garcia ended up saying a couple of days later. But what do you guys thought about that? Because he went on Andrew Tate's whole thing, and talked about what he's witnessed, what he's gone through, and then speaking about a lot of accusations he threw out. So what are you guys' thoughts about that? Is he actually crazy, or is he actually telling the truth like a lot of people believe he is?
I mean, Ryan Garcia is a full-blown conspiracy theorist now. I mean, he's talking about like the stuff that Alex Jones was talking about, someone who was deleted from every platform, talking about Bohemian Grove, talking about the Illuminati, all these sort of things. The thing that is a red flag for me is that Ryan Garcia would never talk about this, or he never even mentioned this at all. It's a complete personality shift. It's not like we were slowly integrated to this side of Ryan Garcia. It's just the fact that it's a complete 180. It's like Sean Strickland. Sean Strickland talks about crazy stuff all the time, and he doesn't really go viral, or no one is really surprised because it's Sean Strickland. Ryan Garcia's talking all this crazy stuff. People are really surprised because it's Ryan Garcia. He's never talked about this stuff before. I think he is honestly going a little crazy.
But he's telling the truth, man. According to a lot of people, he's telling the truth. I mean, there probably is some truth to what he's saying.
Yeah, there is some truth to what he's saying.
But then he's also on Twitter going out, and I mean, I guess he's now a prophet too, because he's prophesizing an earthquake on June 6th, I believe it was, in Cali, I think it was. So he tweeted out saying June 6th earthquake or something like that. And then I guess he's claiming to be a prophet too. So I mean, there is some truth to what he's saying. I don't know any of the details. I'm not really into the whole conspiracy. Yeah, we're not into that section.
We're not trying to get political.
Yeah, we're not focusing into that. But yeah, I'm just saying. I'm like, dude, you are supposed to be focusing on a title fight against Devin Haney, your amateur arch nemesis. Like, you should be focused on that. Like, you're putting way too much focus on other things. Focus on the task at hand.
Something that I mentioned last week's pod was that we're living in his era. We're living in his story. Right now, Ryan Garcia is the main character of his story, and everyone was just waiting to hear what's the next thing he's gonna say. So it's either, yes, he could be going crazy, but he could also be like, yo, he's marketing the shit out of this fucking fight.
I think it's delusion at this point. Because I feel like that it doesn't add anything to the marketing of this fight. Like, he's not even talking about Devin Haney at all. He's just going on some tangents about, like, some crazy shit, about, like, the elites and all this crazy stuff. So it's like, how is this going to help you? And, like, what?
I'm talking to elites going to help you beat Devin Haney.
How is this a positive, argument or conversation for your fights? Like, I don't know. I think it's only putting more pressure, more doubt in everybody in the audience's mind about Ryan Garcia. So I think it honestly is hurting him.
Yeah, I mean, I wish he would just focus on the fight, because I want to see the best Ryan Garcia take on the best Devin Haney. And I mean, what I'm seeing right now, I don't think we're gonna get that.
I don't think we're gonna get that at all. I think Ryan Garcia is gonna come in half-assed, and Devin Haney is going to come in completely prepared, because he is a professional.
Yeah, there was one video, though, that came out, I believe, last week. It was at Golden Boy. Golden Boy was having, like, a meeting, I think, or, like, a press conference. But it was just kind of like him in his, like, conference room of Golden Boy headquarters or whatever. And someone asked him about Ryan, and he goes, Ryan looks good, guys.
Who, De La Hoya?
De La Hoya said that. But the way he said it with no confidence whatsoever. He just said it just to say, he goes, guys, he looks really good. I'm not gonna he looks good. And the guy was like, yeah, but like, don't you think he's going crazy? And he goes, nah. No.
It's a sore subject. I mean, Ryan Garcia is one of the Golden Boys' last cash cow that they got, the
golden ticket.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure after their contract ends, Ryan Garcia is not going to renew. He's probably going to do other things. He's claimed he's going to retire soon. Yeah,
Ryan Garcia.
Yeah, he said.
Well, I mean, he said he's gonna die soon.
Yeah, I mean, he's going through a whole spiral of things. So I don't know what Ryan Garcia's gonna do after the fight. Hopefully, he doesn't get canceled, because I still want to see the fight. But yeah, I don't believe we're gonna get the best Ryan Garcia against Devin Haney based on what I'm seeing. He said he was locked in now. He had a whole video. He dropped the whole video of him signing a piece of paper. How true is that? I don't know. But we'll see. I think time will tell, especially as we get closer to the fight. We're nearly a month away from that whole event taking place. So and as the weeks go by, we're going to see more stuff come to our eyes.
Honestly, I'm making a prediction right now. I think this fight is heavily in jeopardy, and in the coming weeks, I think it's gonna be canceled.
Yeah.
Damn, you think it's gonna be
I think it's
canceled?
gonna be canceled.
I don't think it is, man.
I think it is.
I'm
It's a
still
lot of
holding on
money.
to that
It's a lot of
hope. It's a
money.
lot of money.
It is a lot of money.
money,
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, we gotta wait.
Yeah, one thing that I also want to say is that at first I didn't think anything of it. I was like, damn, it's a lot. You know, all eyes are really on Ryan Garcia. I mean, this fight in general. But there was one guy in particular who was interviewed, just asking him about the whole situation. Rolly Romero. The reporter asked him, so what do you think about this whole situation with Ryan Garcia? And Rolly was actually making somewhat he was making sense a little bit. He was saying that he thinks that Ryan Garcia shouldn't fight, that Golden Boy Oscar should be ashamed of himself because he knew that, like, he came back really quickly after that knockout loss against Tank, and he fought Duarte, and now he's going to fight Devin Haney. He says that he knew that he's been feeling Oscar knew that Ryan Garcia has been feeling this type of way, or is kind of going on a downward spiral, and he still is making him fight this really big mega fight against an elite fighter and stuff like that. That Oscar is just using Ryan as his last cash cow. So when Rolly was making sense, I was like, you know what, maybe there's some validity to it.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's also Ryan Garcia. It's also the fighter. So no one else is going to sign that contract. Ryan Deloitte can't make him sign that contract. Ryan Garcia has to sign that contract. So it's both of them, honestly. And, I mean, they didn't even have a good relationship either way. They're always back and forth. They're always good or they're always bad. So you never know with those two. But one thing I know is that Ryan Garcia is slowly descending into madness. I think that he's just going crazy. Like, I don't like his direction, you know, the path that he's going under. Yeah.
Shakur Stevenson, you'll be the one to replace him.
Never.
Yeah, I mean, he's retired too.
Yeah, he's
retired. All right. But I think we covered everything.
Yeah.
Now. Yeah. So let us know, is Ryan Garcia gonna make it to fight night against Devin Haney? Is Deen the Great doing the right thing and, you know, going behind MisFits back and fighting Adam Sala? And let us know about Jake Paul. Is he doing the right thing? Is he going backwards in his career? Or is this win against Mike Tyson, if he were to win, credible and a legit victory? And lastly, let us know, did Anthony Joshua KO Ngannou for the credibility of boxing? Let us know down below in the comment section. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Once again, thank you guys so much for 1,000 subscribers. It means a lot to us. And with your support, we'll continue growing. But don't forget to follow us on all our other social media platforms. We are on TikTok, we are on Instagram, and we are on X, so don't forget to follow us on that. We also have a Discord, link is in the description below. Don't forget to join that. But yeah, so you had me, Pablo, and I was with Rudo and Asa, and we are the Last Round Podcast. Thank you guys for watching.